So in today's video, I want to talk about the 52nd Carifta game that just wrapped up in Trinidad and Tobago. And we want to look at the big winners from the Carifta game. But most of all, I think the biggest winner coming out of the Carifta game is the Caribbean. Because I don't think people realize how track and field, how big track and field is in the Caribbean. And with this recent staging of Carifta game, it shows us that, look, the Carifta game, the Caribbean, in terms of a region, we have one of the biggest track and field program in the world. Like, we can rival with the biggest. We have a program that is comparable to what goes on in America for the high school level track and field. And that is a big deal because a lot of countries, in terms of their youth program, do not have a youth program that can compare with the Carifta game. So we're going to take a look at the big winners. One of the big winners, I would say, Trinidad and Tobago, for doing an amazing job in terms of hosting it. And the stadium in Trinidad and Tobago, very beautiful stadium. So I'm going to be reacting to the Carifta game. Let's start with the opening ceremony and Trinidad and Tobago coming out.
And here is the home nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to the reception here at the Hasely Crawford Stadium.
Boy, I'm getting goosepimples just watching this. And I'm sure you are too if you are a supporter of Trinidad and Tobago. The Vuvuzelas are here and they are saluting the Trinidad and Tobago team coming on track.
In track and field, they have the reigning Austin Sealy Award winner, Janita Gans, who returns in the under-20 girls long jump. What are the chances that she could repeat as Austin Sealy Award winner? If she is better than she was last year, there is all the chance in the world that she could win it back-to-back.
And they can better their 27 medals last year, 4 gold, 11 silver, and 12 bronze. Trinidad and Tobago hoping to make a massive impact on home soil.
It's not a case that Trinidad and Tobago have done great things when the events are held here. Only twice out of the 5 times that TNT finished in second place. But one of the things that they've stressed to the athletes is to go out there and give your best. And
okay, so that was Team Trinidad and Tobago coming out to the pleasure of the crowd. And it is always a good vibes whenever your island gets to host the Carifta game, because now you are the home team and you get like the full crowd support from your team. And that is always a good opportunity to perform at the highest level when you are the host country. And so next, let's take a look at the standing. And one thing about the standing is that in the Caribbean, in these Carifta games, the standing does not necessarily tell the full story, because obviously, like, the islands with more population and that brings more people to the Carifta game, like Jamaica, traditionally, Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas. You know, most times, like, the athletes that are competing for those islands are like 10, 20 times more, like, say, like a St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent. So it's not necessarily like a good reflection in terms of the numbers, but this is the standings.
Performance in previous years on the track, the Jamaicans amassed 78 medals with 30 gold, 27 silver and 21 bronze. The Bahamas copped 16 gold in their haul of 37 to finish second in the table. Meanwhile, home team Trinidad and Tobago secured 25 medals, 9 gold, 6 silver and 10 bronze, followed by Grenada and Antigua and Barbuda to round out the top 5.
Okay, so as I said, the medal standing is not necessarily an accurate reflection of what goes on at the Carifta game, because as I was explaining, that like Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, like they would bring over 200 athletes each to represent them at these games, while you'd have like a St. Kitts and Nevis that they'll be bringing like 5 or 6. So it's not necessarily, you know, you can't use that as a marker in terms of the success of the Carifta games for some of these islands. For example, like if St. Kitts would go and they would win 1 gold medal, I would consider that as like a big achievement for St. Kitts and Nevis, just because of the numbers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through some of the highlights from what took place at the Carifta game over this week. And first, I'm going to start with Bahamas, the beautiful island of Bahamas. And they They were very dominant in track and field this year, and they're normally good in swimming. So here are some of the highlights coming out of Bahamas.
We're here with Akil Williams of the Bahamas, just 14 years of age and competing in his first Carifta Games, and he has come out on top. He actually came into the final as a heavy favorite at the Carifta Trials. He actually did 60.15 meters, and that's way ahead of everybody else in the field. And he did 57.51 meters. Start to me. How did you feel out there performing at your first Carifta Games?
It was good. I was very excited. It didn't go the way I was planned, but I just thank God that I bring the gold medal for the Bahamas.
Yeah, it's a bit warm out there, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's very hot.
But what was your mindset heading into today? Because, of course, it's your first time competing. I guess you knew that you were the favorite, even though that you would have been one of the youngest in the field.
Yes, sir. Well, I tried to stay humble, go out there, and just do my best.
You're from Queen's College, and I know that there's massive support for you there. How do you think they're feeling that you got the gold medal?
They should be very excited.
So you're competing at the under-17 level. You have a couple more years at the under-17 level.
Yes.
You really want to build a dynasty here, you think, at the Carifta Games?
Yes, sir.
Well, all the best, brother.
Thank you.
Mike for himself, Egan Neely, 4 gold medals. You said that you were going to return, and you did, with the Carifta record in the 4x4. It's sensational from you.
Yes, it is very sensational. I wanted to thank God. I want to thank all my lovely teammates for helping us do it.
Okay, up next, the beautiful Spice Island of Grenada, and the young athletes receive a hero's welcome when they arrive at the Maurice Bishop International Airport back home in Grenada. And just to make this point, that is Maurice Bishop right there, and Maurice Bishop is one of my heroes, one of my Caribbean heroes. And
the Grenada track and field Carifta team were greeted to a welcome ceremony organized by the Ministry of Youth and Sports on Tuesday morning at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. Minister for Youth and Sports Honorable Delma Thomas welcomed the team, commended them for the great representation of Grenada and doing their best despite our size as a nation.
Carifta was nothing short of spectacular for Grenada. Our track and field athletes put us on the map and made their presence feel among the regional powerhouses. That is important. Yes. You see, we are a little dot on the map. Jamaica and Trinidad, they are millions plus. So the very fact that we are among the top 4 speaks volume. And so we must commend you for your hard work, for your dedication. 2 gold, 6 silver, 5 bronze. You know, even those who did not make it on the podium, you performed extremely well. And we, as a small island, we were in mostly every race. And that too need to be commended, medal or not.
okay, so up next, the beautiful island of St. Lucia. And I think this is one of my favorite response because the athletes returned back at the international airport and they received a hero's welcome also. But the reason why this one is, I would say, my favorite one out of all of the reactions so far is because it was just recently we were looking at Julian Alfred, and Julian Alfred putting St. Lucia on the map in terms of winning that medal winning those medals at the Olympics. And now you can see, fast forward not even 2 years, and you can see the inspiration that was gathered because of her dominance at the Olympics, and we see the fruits bearing already. So this is how they were greeted when they went back home to the beautiful island of St. Lucia.
On Wednesday, St. Lucia welcomed home its team from the 52nd Carifta Games. Notably, the family, friends, Mon Paul Library community members and classmates of double sprint gold medalist J.D. Emmanuel all came out to the George F.L. Charles Airport to welcome her home. Emmanuel, who made history by securing the island's first gold medal in a Carifta sprint event, was emotional as she greeted her family and loved ones.
I feel excited. I never believed that I would have got 2 gold medals at these Carifta Games. And I'm very happy. Thanks to my family, my coaches, and my teachers from my school for all the support.
Okay, so up next is the beautiful island of Jamaica, and this is a reaction from the sports minister, the Honorable Olivia Bobbsey Grange, and she talking about how proud she is of the young Jamaicans that they represented at the Carifta game. So this is Babsy Grange and what she had to say.
I am so proud of them. What I would say amazes me, but what inspires me is that we keep turning out a cadre of young athletes that continue to maintain the standard of which we are known, for which we are known. And so Jamaica's future is great. Jamaica's future is bright when it comes to our prowess and our performance in track and field.
Okay, so last but not least, from the beautiful island of Barbados, and this reaction is from one of my heroes, the Honorable Mia Motley. And as you can see, her picture is there. She's one of my Caribbean heroes. And we're going to talk about her reaction to the young people from Barbados, that they were dominant in terms of the Carifta game. And that is what I'm going to leave you with. But before I leave, I just want to say something, because CARICOM and what is going on in CARICOM, and we see like the turmoil that we have been going through for the past couple of months. And sports is one of the most unifying thing that the world turns to whenever we're in turmoil in the world. And this Carifta game just give me hope that the young people in the Caribbean, that we have a bright future ahead of us. And the same way I am an advocate for the Caribbean working together through CARICOM to achieve like food security, to achieve just security overall in the Caribbean, and to make the Caribbean into like a more developed region. The same way I feel about sports. I believe that we can do a better job, even though, as I said earlier on, that the Carifta game and track and field in terms of the high school level is in the Caribbean. We have one of the best programs anywhere in the world. We can compete with the best, but there's still room for improvement. We want to see more Julian Alfreds. We want to see more people coming out of the Caribbean that can be Olympic medalists, and not just in track and field, but whatever sport you can think of. I believe that we have the talent in the Caribbean to do that. So that is another place that I want to see us work together as, you know, a united Caribbean. So this is the Prime Minister from Barbados, the Honorable Mia Motley, and this is what she had to say about her young people representing at the Carifta game.
Every so often, a moment comes along that lifts the spirit of a nation. Over this past weekend, that moment was gifted to us by our young athletes at the 2025 Carifta Games in Trinidad and Tobago. From the lanes in the pool to the lanes on the track, they gave us more than medals. They gave us hope. They reminded us of who we are and what we can do when we dig deep, work hard, and support one another. These boys and girls punched above their weight. When their backs were against the wall, they did not buckle. They rose. Barbados got the 4th largest amount of medals overall in track and field, a remarkable feat, and indeed our best showing in nearly a decade. In the pool, our swimmers made waves of their own, delivering podium finishes that left no doubt about our talent and our potential. I don't want to leave anyone out. Every single athlete who represented our flag did so with pride, and we're proud of all of you. However, it would be remiss of me not to call the names of some who truly lit up the stadiums. Jaden Green's blistering run in the 200-meter secured gold and etched his name in the history books. Tion Haynes medaled in the long jump with composure and class. Kaija Eastman and Heidi Stout turned the water into their stage, swimming their hearts out and collecting medals in the process. And our 4x100-meter relay team showed us the power of teamwork and trust. These athletes, my friends, are blessings and ambassadors of our great nation. In a world where headlines can often focus on what's going wrong, they remind us of what's going right. They are proof that the light of this country still burns brightly in the hearts of its young people. Let us uplift that light. Let us celebrate it. Let us support it, not just this week, but every day going forward. Let us stay focused and work on the goals that we have set individually and nationally. To all our Carifta athletes, you have done more than win. You have inspired. As Prime Minister, I say to you and your families and coaches, thank you. Thank you for showing us the best of who we are and the boldness of who we can be. And I want to say thank you to our administrators and to our clubs and schools. Your support and your strategic repositioning of the ecosystem necessary for success are all critical to our being the best that we can be. With all our love and pride, we salute you and urge you, stay focused. You can do it. We shall do it.
Okay, so that was my reaction to the Carifta game. And as I said, the big winner was the Caribbean. Caribbean was a big winner. And this is like amazing that we see that in the pipeline, we have a lot of amazing athletes coming. We have a bright future ahead of us in terms of the World Games, in terms of the Olympics, and the sky is the limit for the Caribbean. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on the 2025 Carifta game and what are your takeaway from this meet. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.